Welcome to the LyfeBe podcast. In every episode, we dive into the most relatable aspects of life, helping you navigate the complexities of our contemporary world. Let's get started.
Hello, and it's about the time we start to talk. Talk about things that are amazing, things that are interesting, things that are disturbing, things that are honest. And welcome to the LyfeBe podcast, where we have hot topics. Hot being honest, open, and transparent. We don't talk about things in little voices. We talk about things that touch people's hearts, people who don't want to be talked about, or things that people want to talk about. And tonight, today, whatever time you're watching this, whatever day, I have two amazing people here. On my right, my immediate right, I have the gentleman called Fred Wallace. It's nice to have you on the LyfeBe podcast, Fred.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and right next to Fred, Fred is going to come back and tell us more about himself. We have Gianna Greer, Kiggundu. Hey, Gianna.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, all the way around the world.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day, all over the world. So, Fred, tell us a bit about yourself.
There's nothing much to say.
There's a lot to say.
I'm a musician, passionately musical, and all my 50 years of existence have been in Uganda, Kampala. So, what else?
You've been all over the world, not just in Uganda, Kampala.
Yeah, okay, yes. I do I'm passionately musical, and I've been doing lots of music directing in churches, in the what church people call in secular areas. So
I don't like using the word secular. I normally tell people call it mainstream, because secular is like being racist to say secular. I take it like it's a racist. It's like you're black, I'm white, but we're all musicians, we're all artists. So in the mainstream stage.
Yeah, mainstream. Yeah.
So what, you play an instrument or instruments? How many instruments do you play?
3, 4, 5.
Which one and which?
Wow.
The piano, the guitars, the bass, all the guitars. Say all the
bass, electric, acoustic, and which other one?
And believe it or not, I started off my musical journey drumming. I was
really?
Yes, I was a drummer in church.
Wow.
So quite a number of them.
That's great. What are your biggest passions in the music space?
Being true, being disseminating information, being truthful to myself even as I play music. So I'm always thinking, even as I'm writing music, is this me? Am I sending out a message that really vibrates me? It's about the message. That's my passion in music.
Okay. Reason I ask, for those of you who don't know Mr. Fred Wallace here, I've known Fred for about 30 years. We started out in the same youth choir at church, and then he became my music director, and then I did a stint with them. They have Fred comes from a group called First Love. That was Globetrotting, a gospel group, and every now and then I used to sing with them. I used to do backup when the whole group wasn't together. I used to travel with them out of town to do school outreaches. So Fred has been part of my musical life and musical history, and Fred taught me music production.
Wow.
So yeah, at First Love Studios, he's an amazing music producer, guitarist, and all that. That's why this is special for me, because Fred has always been part of my life. He's the big brother I never had. So it's great to have you here, Fred.
Thank you.
And we
Thank
still do music
Thank
together every now and then.
Thank
Gianna, over to you. What do you do? Who's Gianna? Tell us about yourself. First tell us the right pronunciation of your name. Spell it and then pronounce it.
Okay, my name is spelled Gianna. It is actually an Italian name,
Okay.
and it's pronounced Gianna. But what everybody calls me at home is Gianna.
Gianna.
I know. Sounds that you guys don't have, right?
Yeah, we don't have that in our mouth. It sounds like you're saying G, the letter G, and then you're saying O-N-I-T. G on it. Like G
G.
honor. G on it. Like G unit. G honor. So tell us, Gianna. I call her Gianna.
You
Gianna.
can't say it right the whole time.
I say it once by chance every once in a while. So go on, Gianna.
Okay, so that is my name. I am from California,
Cali girl.
but I am in here in Kampala with you guys. Of course, I'm married to you, handsome.
You're married to me?
I am married to
Oh,
you.
I'm blessed to be married to you. Thank you, darling.
Let's see, what do I do for work? I work in a office setting. I'm an executive assistant for public health, maternal, child, and adolescents. So, medical industry.
Okay, what things are you passionate about?
I am passionate about ministry. I am passionate about helping others. I am passionate about I want to say helping others. I want to see the best come out of people. I like helping to build. I like helping to grow people. I also love cooking. So that's one of my other favorite things. So cooking and helping others. Yeah.
You love doing people, basically. Anything to
Yes.
do with people, helping people, supporting people,
Yes.
feeding people,
Yes.
talking to people.
I like
You love
it all.
people.
I love people.
That's beautiful. So we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. You love people. Basically, you love relationships.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about validating, demasculating, and submission.
Ooh.
Those are three hot topics that people shy away from or are headstrong on, whichever side of the coin they fall, or people have an opinion on each, whatever the opinion is. So we're going to start with you, ladies first. What is validation to you?
That's a good question. Validation to me is really letting the other person know that you hear them. I think one thing that is very important is everybody has feelings, and everybody's feelings are valid. And even if they feel a certain way about a situation, the way they feel is valid. So validating them would say, you know what, I understand how you feel. And if I were in your shoes, I would probably feel the same way. You don't have to necessarily agree with how they feel, but you're giving them the space to be able to feel and to say it's okay to feel this way. I get it that you feel this way. I'm sorry that you feel this way. I'm sorry if there was anything I did to make you feel this way. And then after that person feels heard, then you're like, oh my God, they get it. So that's what validation is to me, where you're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. You are kind of empathizing with them, telling them that you understand that, and it's okay to feel whatever way they feel, whether they're angry, they're sad, they're upset, whatever it is, it's okay to feel how you feel.
Oh,
Give them
beautiful.
that space.
Okay. Fred, what do you think?
Validation.
He had to clear his throat for that one.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with a lot of what Gianna has said about about being heard, and I agree. We all need to be heard, and some of the things that, like I said, I'm passionate about being true, but putting messages out there. One of the things about communication that I'm beginning to understand more is that we are all heard, but it's so hard to be understood. But I hear the words coming out of your mouth, and I've literally come to a point where I have accepted that I will be heard, and everyone hears, but no, not everyone understands, and that's okay. So am I being validated by the fact that that I'm not being when I'm not being understood? I've come to a point where I have agreed that I want to be understood, so I am happy with it.
With not being understood.
Yes.
Wow, that's a discipline.
I'm happy with it because I know that we are, all of us are speaking at different frequencies, and as an FM receiver, you won't be able to get all the frequencies if you're tuned to 91.3. You're not going to hear what 100.5 is listening to, that's all right. So I have come to that place where I understand that I'm speaking, but we are on different frequencies, and that's all right. Right now, maybe I need to shift my frequencies to theirs and listen to them. And if they are willing, they will shift my frequency. But if they're not willing, it's okay too. It's okay too. I am hard. Still the thing is that they're hearing the static. And that's important. That's important.
Signal.
Yeah, the signal is there, and they're hearing the static, and that's good. Now, does everyone think like that? No, but I do understand that. I do understand that many of our confusion will come to a standstill when we understand that there is sound everywhere, and the main thing is that I am creating a sound. There's a sound coming out of me, and I need to be validated by the fact that I am alive. That I'm emitting a sound, and I will do what I will connect with those who are vibrating on my frequency.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for Fred.
Sure.
So, is that your outlook on just relationships with people in general?
Yes.
What about for intimate relationships? Let's say for your partner, do you feel the same way about being okay with not being understood by them and them being on different frequencies?
To a certain extent, I have come to understand that we as much as we would want to be in sync in everything, there are some levels we communicate at cross purposes, and I need to come to that place where I accept that this one we'll never be able to see eye to eye until we come to that place where we are vibrating on the right frequency, on the same frequency. So what happens is I stopped. I discipline myself to a point where I say, I'm not going to bring this up. This one is a place where we won't be able to be in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. To a certain extent, we agree. I agree to. I've come to a point in my life where I understand that there are some things we will not understand because we are at different frequencies.
Okay.
And we lay them. I lay them down.
Have you been answered?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Fred. So then my next question would be, how can we distinguish between healthy validation and dependency on validation from others?
That's powerful. That's powerful. You know that you know healthy validation comes from from the fact that you know who you are, and you have come to a place where you 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 own yourself. You know who you are, and you value yourself. You value yourself to the point whereby you know that I matter, and I am here for a reason. There's a purpose over my life, and therefore I don't get I don't get my value, my validation from what I have, what I own, what I'm in control of, but from the fact that I am, and therefore I am.
Okay.
And I'm saying all that to come to this point whereby you find people are always. A few weeks back, I was talking to my daughter, and she was telling me about how depressed she was going because she doesn't have friends, and her friends are calling her names and everything and all these things, and therefore it had come to a place of her friends were dictating to her where her happiness should be. Like, oh, you don't look like this, or you don't look like that, or you don't do this, or you don't do that, and therefore you are fake, you're all that. I do believe that when we as human beings understand who we are and where we come from, then that becomes the bedrock of our validation, and all these other things become an addition. You married to Gianna, and that's just an addition of for who you are. And you own this apartment, you own these cameras, all those things do not add to who you are. They are just trinkets. They're just things that you acquire because of who you are. Now it becomes unhealthy if you ask who is Fred, and then I begin to say, I am a rich man. I've got this, I've got that, and the other. Then, if all those things are stripped away, who are you? I do believe that that when we lean on matter, on what we have, and what we can do, then we are on the slippery slope of unhealthy attachments, unhealthy values. First, the number one thing of every human being should be, who are you? When you get to know who you are, then all these other things around you do not matter anymore.
Okay. Now you say very deep things that sound very philosophical. How do you get to know who you are?
That's a good one. And that's what many philosophers have been trying all their lives to answer. Who am I? Where does life come from? Where is the genesis of life on the earth? And actually, it depends on what you believe and what you think about. But actually, many philosophers and many scientists have come to a point that there is that there is life beyond what we can see, what matter, space, time, and matter. There's life beyond this. That actually, when everything is stripped away, there is still some intelligent being. Some people call it the universe. Other people call it God. Other I don't know, wherever you are. And they do believe that when our validation comes from our connection with the universe, our connection with God, our connection with with Jehovah. Whatever it is you choose to believe right now, our connection with the metaphysical, what people call the metaphysical, is very important. So when a human being, you the human being, understands and wisdom has been given to you and eyes have been opened for you to see that the universe, God, the creator, then you begin to understand that your validation isn't hinged on matter, but on the genesis of it all. It's kind of hard because right now I don't think we're delving into the metaphysical, the all those things, but actually when you think about it, our worth, we're talking about worth, our worth isn't like a wise man once said to his peoples, that man's worth isn't from the many things that he owns, because those things themselves will do what will perish. But your worth stems from who your maker is. Now I'm talking about someone who believes that I've got a maker, and I derive my worth, my validation from him.
That's great. Gianna, what do you have to say?
How do I follow that?
I don't know.
I would say healthy validation starts off with the individual being healthy. And that means mental
Eating
health.
well.
No, mental health. A healthy mindset, a healthy heart, a healthy outlook on things, healthy. And that health, a lot like what Fred said, comes from a sense of who you are. If you've grown up in dysfunction, you're not going to have that healthy outlook on things. And you might be pulling for validation because you want to feel whole, you want to feel filled, because maybe that was something that you were lacking. So when the person has health on the inside, their heart is healthy, their mind is healthy, then they know, okay, take away the stuff, take away my status, I am. And I'm okay with that. And they don't need the applause of other people. They don't need it. I mean, it's always great to have affirmation, especially when you're good at something and you do something well. But then at the end of the day, that person doesn't need that to keep going. That person doesn't need that to thrive. And what I've seen really is that comes from, sense of self, sense of same thing, connection with creator, with God, with the energy, whatever you feel connected to. And I've seen that when you have this connection and also getting to know yourself, and it can be practical things. What kind of things do I love doing? What kind of things don't I like doing? What things really get my heart beating? What am I passionate about? What am I not passionate about? And those things change over time. Sometimes you like this, sometimes you don't like it. So it changes. But just knowing you and keeping in tuned with yourself. Like that's all. That also means feeling. Okay, I'm feeling this way. It's okay to feel this way. Okay, I'm feeling that way. Knowing your moods, knowing your feelings, knowing all of these things about yourself, then you're able to live what they say is your truth. Because you know yourself. Who's going to know you better than you? So you know yourself. So then I'll use myself as an example. I was, let's see. If I had the title, I was youth pastor, I was this, I was that. Take all that away. If my identity is wrapped up in being a youth pastor, a missionary, and all this stuff, and you take that away, I then start to begin to be depressed. I'm like, who am I now? I don't do any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But if I am rooted in, I am a person, I am a lover of people, I am a lover of God, I am a person who is passionate about healthy, or not healthy, being healthy in my mind and helping others, You can't take that away from me. You can't take away my voice. You can't take away my thoughts. All that stays with me. So then validation, healthy validation, would be people to say, oh, that's great what you do and things like that, but I don't need it. I don't need it from others.
That's a tricky one. You have to have been raised in a healthy home, family, to be able to be okay with validation or not being validated. That's what I gather from what you're saying. Right?
I would say a healthy home is part of it, but not everybody
Has the
gets
opportunity to grow up in a healthy home.
Exactly. But I think it does need other people to help.
Okay.
In the sense of, I may not have grown in a healthy home, or just for example, I may not have grown in a healthy home. So my sense of self, my self-esteem may be low. I may need a lot of validation to feel
Okay.
great. But it is possible for people like that to learn healthy validation outside of the home. That's where mentors come in. That's where, mentors, coaches, just anybody who's willing to help someone out.
So just to take you back a little bit, you've given us very valid points. If you don't necessarily have to have come from a healthy background, a healthy family like that, and you've talked about, just go back to how then you get it. You learn to get good validation. How you said coaches. I'm interested in getting a little deeper into that.
Yes. I think it starts with surrounding yourself with people, coaches, mentors, people who are really going to speak into you. People who see something in you that they want to bring out, that they don't have any stake in it. Like, they have nothing to gain other than seeing you grow.
Okay.
And how do you find those people? I mean, I don't know. How do you find mentors? I would say sometimes in church settings, sometimes depending on what kind of industry you're in, there's always someone who knows more than you. And then you can go to the person who knows more than you and see what you can be taught.
Okay.
And a lot of those people like to take you under their wings, things like proteges, or, they like to instill their knowledge. And with that knowledge and wisdom becomes a sense of confidence, because you're now experiencing somebody pouring into you and somebody wanting to build you up. And then you learn what healthy validation looks like
That's
in
beautiful.
those situations.
That's beautiful. So then we move to the next one. That's very interesting. Demasculation. Fred, what's demasculating? What would you consider demasculating?
I don't know. I've never been demasculated, so
Define demasculating.
what comes to me every time I hear that word is farming, when this bull is emasculated. Or what's the word? They remove,
Castrated.
they're castrated. The balls, excuse my French.
Do a little snip snip.
Yeah. So and I keep wondering how that has come into our vocabulary as humanity. Demasculation. It's an intriguing thing. I'd like to hear more from
from a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say, from what I've noticed, at least in America, the amount of men that are not in the homes is substantially large. So you have
So that's
children,
families without men.
families without men.
Okay,
There are
okay.
no fathers in the homes for the most part. And for women raising children alone, women are raising boys, women are raising girls. And you're saying this, they don't have that interaction with the father to know how to act around a man, how to treat a man, how to speak to a man. Especially if you're growing up with a single mother. You're growing up with a woman who has to be strong, who had to be independent to take care of a family. And so she does things on her own. So when you get into that space of a man, the woman who had to be both the woman and the man does not know how to let the man be the man. They don't know how to speak to them the right way. They don't know how to let go of control because they had to do it by themselves.
They had to become the man.
They had to. Other than that, their family would just crumble. And the beautiful thing about that is you see so many families that made it, but also the tragic thing about it is you see the breakdown of the family. I don't even know many people who grew up with a two-family household with the father and the mother. And I can say, nothing to my mom, because my mom was amazing. She raised 4 kids on her own. But I can say with me marrying him, I did not know how to talk to a man. I didn't know what a woman, her role in her interactions with man, with husband, looked like. My dad was in the picture, but even I wasn't around him that much to know what this was like. So some of the things that I maybe said and done were very demasculating because I didn't know any better. I'm like, no, I don't need your help. I can do it myself. Because I've had to do it myself my whole life until I got to this point. And, sometimes it's so many things. And I can go in so many different angles with that. Because if you think of basic things that men need, men need to be respected. Men need to be trusted. Men need, validation as well. And for women, we don't have that natural respect for a man because we haven't seen it. At least.
Oh, I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
We haven't seen it. It hasn't been around. And of the few men that'll be around that weren't around, it's like, you left, you're good for nothing. What is perpetuated in a lot of black films over there, the angry black woman, because, the guy is no good, the guy left and all that. But it's actually a part of what happens. And it's sad because there's not a lot of light shined on the other side of it, what healthy families look like, what 2-parent households look like, and teaching that stuff. And I know that's why TV shows like The Cosby Show was monumental, because that was the first time you saw a healthy black family in the media. You always see the breakdown of black families. And just because of the absence of a strong, manly father figure in the home, boys are not growing up to be responsible men, to be honorable men, because they don't know how. They're being taught by their moms. And women are not growing up learning how to respect and how to take care and how to be this helpmate to this man, because there was no one modeled.
I think I understand what you're saying. I think what is happening is the man is being cancelled. We're in a deep cancel culture where the man the man has been literally cancelled. And right now it's progressing to the woman right now. Because right now the biggest question around is, what is woman? So first they started with the man, and the man has been cancelled. We don't need a man, and it's even written in the laws of the land. You find that when the family is broken and their custody battles, the law is favorable towards the woman, and therefore the man finds his way out. He carries the burden of paying for the bills, but he's out of the picture. So basically, the world has very very successfully cancelled the man. So now I understand what emasculation is. I do understand that this can be countered very easily too, because if men just learn how to be men, you can still be a man without being without controlling a woman. That's what I say. Without controlling what we call children, you can still be a man. So I'm understanding what emasculation looks like right now, and I do understand that it's a pity that that the world has tried their level best to cancel the man,
to demasculate the man, to bring him to nothingness.
Yeah, but you do realize that that just like the good book said, the Bible says that when the foundations of the earth are shaken, what did the righteous do? I do realize that the man being the foundation of everything has been shaken to the core, and therefore everything is shaken. Gianna has talked about the boy coming up not knowing how to act, and the girl too not knowing how to act. The family is in disarray. They don't know what to do because there is no good picture of a man to look to. But instead of calling it, for me, when I look at it, I wouldn't call it demasculation. I'd call it the cancelling of man. Actually,
that's good.
Actually, they are erasing man out of the whole picture, and therefore, because man is being erased, no one knows what it is to be a man. He's been put away. What people don't understand right now, the next thing, and I'm sorry, I'm going ahead. But this is a very big the next thing that's happening, because we are asking ourselves questions. What is woman? So woman is also being cancelled.
Yeah.
Cancelled.
So also the men are cancelling the woman now.
No, not the men.
The men. It's the
actually it's a system. It's a system.
Yeah.
Very soon, Right now we have over. Let me not go there before they cancel us too.
Let me add something to what you said. This is something that's actually been a problem a long time in the U.S. For people in the U.S. who have low incomes, they have programs that you can get on, and they're called food stamps and WICs for women who have children and stuff. But what they do is they only provide the aid to the women if the father's not in the home. So it's like they are, I want to say, they're pushing for the men to be out of the home, because they're saying our government will take care of you if he's not there. And let's say he's there and he's not making a lot of money because they're both low income, they'll push the man out.
Throw him out so the government can take care of him. And that's been going on for years, probably over, I don't even know when, like food stamps and that stuff started. But I want to say probably in like the 50s or something like that. So that's been the scheme, I guess, under it. So what does really gender identity play in the discussions about masculinity and femininity in today's society?
That is...
You want to go there?
Yeah, because why I'm going there is because you have men being cancelled, and now you have women being cancelled. So it's like you're saying there's no men, there's no women. And then we're saying there's a middle ground. You can be either. Since men is bad, women is bad, what's the middle ground? What does gender identity, what role does it play in this whole picture?
Do you know? Do you know? I've been following this whole transgender thing that started in America. I think America has been a hotbed for many of these experiments.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that that is happening is that these people are this community, this hyper community has begun they have started their own naming of things. They have what they call cis men and cis women, and I tried to find out what cis men are and cis women are, and I'm finding out that cis men are you and me who are born men and identify as men. And I'm saying, when did this become even a category? Because we in Africa grew up knowing that they're men,
And
men
these are women.
and they're women. But now it has become like, oh, no, you guys are cis men because you are stuck to your old ways. You are cis men, and these are cis women. They're stuck to their old ways. So basically, they're saying that in the new world that they are creating, they want to have all as many genders as they want. That's why they say LGBTQ plus.
Okay. It's
So
not just
it's still being
male,
amended.
female,
Yeah,
not straight.
yeah.
No.
It's many sub.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's being amended.
Yeah.
So basically, it's this substrata of superhumans who are doing what, who are appending, who are making genders as they think.
So we're creating many genders at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
So actually, this whole thing didn't start yesterday. They started canceling the man, knowing very well that a time is going to come when we will have over 200 genders.
Okay.
Genders. You and I know. I hope you know, like I do. You and I know that there are only 2 genders, and we have been labeled cisgendered. So actually, I was watching somebody on the internet, and he was saying, "I'm not cis anything." That's an insult to me. I'm not cis anything. You can't call me cis. Since I can't call you what I think you are, you're not. You shouldn't be having a right to call me cis.
Anything. Oh,
Yes.
I understand. So call me what I want to be called.
Yes.
Don't group me in your many groups.
Yes.
It's today I want to be called this. Tomorrow I want to be called somebody else. So call me what I want.
Yes. So you see.
Yeah.
So you see. Actually, this cancel culture that started with them has blossomed to a full-blown disease. Sorry, sorry. I call it disease because I'm passionate about these things, and I hope I'm not cancelled. But well, these are my opinions, and I'm entitled to them.
Yeah, everybody's entitled.
So I do believe that what started with the cancelling of men has gone on to be what we call the cancelling of gender.
Ah, okay.
So
That's interesting, which gets me to the next point then. And at this point, we get to the next trigger point, submission. Gianna, what is submission to you?
Submission, that could be... It's interesting when I think about submission and all of the ways that it is connotated in the U.S. It's always a negative connotation.
Oh,
you see people who are like, let's say, MMA fighters or wrestlers. They put you in a move and they put you in a submission.
In a chokehold.
Yes, a chokehold, armbar, or whatever. Some type of move where you're to the point where you say, I'm tapping out, I'm giving in. I submit. I'm done. I'm over. I'm going to, you've overtaken me in that sense. Or, so it has this bad connotation of allowing someone to control or have power over you.
Okay.
So that's what it is seen as. Now, what do I believe submission to be? I think it's what can I say? I would say maybe like a leading. So I am going to come under your leadership. So in our marriage, I'm going to come under your leadership and I'm going to allow you to lead me. I'm going to allow you to make certain decisions and things of that sort. And then other parts that you're going to come under, okay, this is maybe my expertise. You're going to come under me and you're going to allow me to make the decisions here. Like we meet each other and it's like, I would say mutual submission. So sometimes I'm following your lead, sometimes you're following my lead, but it's something that's discussed among us. And for women hate that word submission because it's saying to us that I am going to let you control me. I'm going to let you be a slave master over me. And it's whatever you say and I have to do it. I have no rights. I'm a second class citizen. I am just basically, I'm your bed wench. You tell me what to do and I do it. I cook
Bed what?
Bed wench.
Ooh.
So you tell me what to do. I do it. I cook your food. I do this. Like all these traditional mindsets. That's what comes to a lot of women's head.
So I'm your slave, basically.
Yes, I'm your slave. And sadly, some people act like that in their relationships. So when a woman hears the word submission, we're like, I ain't gonna submit to no man. Like, because it's the idea of you're letting somebody rule over you and you have no rights and you have no say.
That's
but for me, I'm gonna take it biblical for me. For me, it says women submit to a man. The man is supposed to submit to God. I have no problem submitting to a person who is submitted to the Lord.
Okay.
If I know that you are submitted to the Lord and the Lord is your leader and you're following him in all the ways, then I am okay submitting to you because I can trust that my God is leading you. Now, if you are not submitted to the Lord, I'm going to have a problem submitting with you because I'm like, I don't know who's leading you. I don't know which way you're going.
So you're not going to lead me.
Your foundation it's shaky. And so I'm like, I don't know where you're leading me. I think my decision's better. And it's going to be hard to trust where you're leading when I don't know who's leading you.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Fred. Why are you making that face? Fred.
Submission, a very misunderstood word, but maybe it's because it's in English and we Africans are not really English people.
Okay, so tell us what you Africans that are not English people take submission to be.
Well, I look at it the way I understand what is meant by that word. I don't think that word is given its right meaning, because whenever we look at submission, like Gianna said, it's someone being coerced to be under someone. And obeying someone, and even that word obedience is such a hard thing. Why should I obey you? Why should I obey you? Who are you? Are you the master over me? Who put you over me? Well, I also look at it differently. You see, there's a story in a good book. I'll call it a good book because there are many bad books around. But this one, I call it a good book because I like the stories. The story where this man it came to a point where this man knew he had done everything, and he was going back to his father. And then he said, after he knew he had done everything he was supposed to do, and he was going back to his father, he disrobed and took a towel and he put it around his waist, and he began washing the feet of his disciples. Now that shook his disciples to the core, because they had never seen a master or anyone with power stoop down and begin washing the feet of his subjects. And then they began to have this interesting conversation with him. No, you can't do this. You're a big man. You can't do this. And right there, I can stop right there and have lots to say about that. You see, this man's worth wasn't coming from what other people were saying about him. And I think submission comes, that what gains meaning when you begin to understand that your worth isn't coming from Sami-K's perception, Gianna's perceptions. It is coming from something bigger than that. This man could disrobe and wash the smelliest feet. If you know what feet are like, he could do the pedicure, the manicure without pay. By the way, he wasn't being paid. He wasn't being paid, and he was scrubbing men's feet. He wasn't scrubbing women's feet. He was scrubbing men's feet. Let's remind ourselves of that. And men don't know anything about pedicure, and he was scrubbing those feet. And they rose up in arms because they had their perception of what royalty is supposed to be, what mentorship is supposed to be. And he was the greatest mentor of all, doing the most menial of jobs in submission to the people who were less than him. So I look at this and I say, maybe we have understood what submission wrongly. Submission has to come from a person who knows who he is.
Let's first go back a little bit. When you say we have understood submission wrongly, that means there's a misconception about submission. So what are the misconceptions of submission? Submission
comes from this top-down, top-bottom mentality that the people of the world know, that there has to be a big man on top, and every one of us has got to be kowtowing to them. Maybe the big man, maybe the big man has got all the resources. We already in this. In this thing, there are first world nations and there are third world nations. So the big nations, the ones that are rich, are
the ones
supposed to
subduing
be
the small
everyone
ones,
else.
then the small ones submit.
They can bomb the hell out of the rest of the world because they are the big ones. So that's the submission. That's the picture that we have about submission.
Yeah,
I'll bomb you into submission. But you see, I think we don't understand what submission is all about. For me, I believe, and this is my believing, that true submission is when a man or a woman who knows who they are will be able to do even the most menial tasks.
Wow, beautiful. So are you
They know they are.
Are you trying to say that submission is not gender-based?
No.
Gianna, what do you think about that?
I agree.
Does a man submit to a woman?
Absolutely.
Or it's just because you find in certain spaces the woman submits to the man. The man is the head of the home. He's the king. And then the woman is the one that serves the food, washes his feet, washes his clothes, takes the kids to school. The man brings his money.
Maybe let's even look at that word king.
Yes.
This is I'm getting this from the Bible, just like Gianna got it from the Bible. The one we call king left everything. He made himself nothing. He made himself nothing. He took on the flesh of the lowliest of low people.
Fickle mankind.
and he even wasn't born in palaces or whatever. He took on the bestest of all things, and he began to do the most menial tasks. And I was telling you that because he knew where he was coming from. That's what the word of God was saying. That he knew where he was coming from. He disrobed and he began scrubbing feet. And that shows me something. That shows me something. If the King of Kings can scrub feet
and serve,
then who are you, beautiful woman, beautiful man, who thinks that you have got to be sitting on someone's head to prove a point that you are above? So that's why I keep thinking that we have misunderstood what submission is. The word of God the Bible still says that submit one to another out of reverence to God. Now, if I really believe that my God took on the form of a slave to serve humanity to the point of death, I wouldn't think it too much for me to even submit to a woman.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it even too much submitting to my children, because I submit to my children too. I listen to them and I serve them.
Wow.
So I really think that we have understood that word submission wrongly, and even just to mention what Gianna said, I might not know. This is my understanding. I may not know where you're going, but I know who my father is. I know where I come from, and if I'm submitted to him, I'll be able to say, let's do it your way, because I know that in the end I will be vindicated by my Father in heaven.
That's beautiful.
So you see it. My submission doesn't come from the place that I agree with you. My submission comes from a place that I know who I am and I know whose I am.
Yeah. So you submit to the master, who is God, and then you're able to submit to the man, to the child, to the woman, because you know where your identity comes from, and that's God. So you don't have a problem submitting, like the word says, submit to one another.
Yes.
Wow, this is so beautiful. We're so out of time. We could go on and on and on and push different buttons, but I'm so grateful. Thank you for coming through, Fred. Thank you, Gianna. This has been amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on YouTube, LyfeBe Pod, which is LyfeBe, LyfeBe Pod, Pod, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Follow us and let's continue the conversations. Tell us what you think, what your opinions are on this. You can go on Facebook and just drop a chat, say something, whatever you want us to talk to converse about, and conversations to have here. We're so blessed to have you. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank and we love you. LyfeBe. See you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the LyfeBe podcast with Sami-K. Your support means the world to us. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and share to help us grow and continue bringing you valuable content. We appreciate you.